you doing? Welcome to Fruit for Your Life. My name is Ed Logan. I wanted to do this video especially to the truck drivers. As I have been around in life and as I have been doing previous employments or careers that I've had before coming into truck driving and experiencing what I am seeing in truck driving today, I felt the need to speak specifically to truck drivers. I do have truck drivers who get in contact with me on my channel, and we discuss different things about different way of life, about eating. So I figured I would just go ahead and do this video specifically for the truckers. All right. So again, my name is Ed Logan, and I am a fellow truck driver. All right. So I just want to give you just a couple of things to prove my point here. All right. So as you can see, I was a pretty big boy, weighing in at about 270 pounds, miserable driving my truck or driving for the company that I even work for now, just plumb miserable, driving down the highway, had a lot of health issues that were going on that were affecting me. And I will be honest with you, I don't even know how I'm still alive today, feeling some of the things that I had. I had high blood pressure. I had high blood pressure that was ranging from 180 and it would be like 180 over 122, 170 over 116, things like that. So my blood pressure was pretty bad. And as you can see, I was a pretty big boy, but I, decided to make some changes in my life. And I actually came from 200, and it says 260 on there. I can tell you that was 270. Could have been 280, but that was my last documented weight. So as you can see, I have lost some weight, and I decided to do that because I was miserable sitting up in that truck every day, unhealthy, body was hurting. It was just really miserable. So I had to, I really decided to correct something in my life. And let me tell you the reason why I'm going here. I am a truck driver, so I want to make sure that I get the proper clout with you all. I know how it is being a truck driver. We don't want to hear nothing if you ain't from a truck driver. But yeah, I am a truck driver. I actually do heavy hauling, and I work for a company that is called HTSI, Hill Transportation Services Incorporated. And so we do a lot of heavy hauling. We haul a lot of steel. So that is actually what I am doing now at this time. Now, previously, before I was driving a truck, I was a state trooper. So I have always been around trucks for the most part of my life. And as you can see, as I was a trooper, I actually got along with a lot of the truck drivers. I would actually sit in the median in the state of Kentucky down at Frankfort as they were coming through on I-64 at about the 58-mile marker. I would sit there and I would give speedometer readings to the truckers who were coming by, and they got to know me. My handle was Kodiak. So they would come through at night looking for me. Hey, and if I got stuck in the median or something, you better believe truck drivers who knew that it was me, they would pull over and hook a chain to me and pull me out. So, I just really had that kind of relationships with truck drivers. And I always wanted to be a truck driver. Even when I was a little kid, I wanted to be a truck driver. But my dream was to be a trooper. So after coming out of police work, I actually started driving a truck. So I was able to do both things that I wanted to do. But one of my concerns that I have right now, and I'll go ahead and say this, I used to get calls when I was a trooper to trucks being off on the side of the road or a single unit accident involving a tractor trailer. And every time I got a call like that, I got a a spirit of uneasiness around me because I already knew what I was going to stumble upon. Very few times that I come up to an accident involving a tractor trailer where maybe he fell asleep and ran off of the road. But there were times that I walked up to a tractor trailer, and when I climbed up on the steps, I would look at the driver and he would be slumped over the steering wheel. He would be blue. He would already be dead by the time that I got there. So, that just created, I guess PTSD in me. That when I walk up to a tractor trailer that is off the side of the road, single vehicle, single unit, that just tears me up because I already know what's going on. And that doesn't even include the times that you're sent to truck stops. A truck has been sitting there for a day, 2 days. Truck hasn't moved. The company is calling. Before that time, cell phones weren't like they were now. Now you can take an iPhone and you can look and see where somebody is at. A spouse can look and see where their husband is and literally go to where their husband is today. But back then, back in the 90s, it wasn't like that whatsoever. So as you can imagine, we would have to go to the trucks, get into the trucks somehow, and there would be a driver that would be laying there dead. And you would hear other troopers who would have the same experiences, and we would all get together and talk about it. It's just a bad thing. So therefore, it just gives me a heart to want to speak to the fellow truck drivers because it's really important that we really do start to think about our health. Okay, that's one thing that many people do not want to talk about. You know how it is dealing with truckers. You can't tell us anything. But what needs to be said needs to be said. Okay, so let's look at a couple of things. Let me move some of this out of the way. All right, so judge says truckers heart attack caused by job. So you can go and look at this article. This article even comes from 2011, where a judge has actually proven that drivers are having heart attacks. They're having heart conditions, bad health because of their job. Okay, and it really has to do with us not taking care of ourselves while we are in these trucks. Okay, so there are some responsibilities that we have, which is to us. Our responsibility is to take care of our bodies. And I don't know if you see like I see sometimes, I'll be parked at a truck stop and I'll see a trucker get out of his truck. He waddles down out of his truck and he has to lean against his truck while walking to the back. Or even you go to a shipping and receiving and you're watching as you're sitting there waiting to get loaded. You see truckers get out and man, they can barely make it to the back of their truck. And I have such a heart for these drivers because I was there once. I may not have been waddling, but I definitely had problems with my body. I had, of course, like I've already told you, I had high blood pressure. I had, what all did I have? I had neck pains, from sitting and bouncing up in the truck. I had to have back pain. I'd have heart fluttering and things like that, just from the high blood pressure and everything. And, you go do the physicals every 2 years. But what's going on with you at the time. What's going on with you personally. Okay, so it's really up to us to take care of our bodies, just like we're expected to take care of those trucks when we drive them. We should be having the mindset that we should start taking care of ourselves, basically. That's really what we should be doing. Okay, heart disease is the leading cause of death in the U.S. according to the CDC. And for truck drivers who spend hours sitting behind a wheel, inactivity and lack of exercise can create hazardous conditions for your health. And that's true. Think about it. We're sitting in that truck all day. We're at a heightened state all day long. It doesn't matter that we're just driving a truck. I mean, we're watching cars that are coming past us, cars that are cutting us off. We're trying to make sure that we're not hitting things. We're climbing hills. We're going slow. We're already a hazard, to traffic as it is. And, we've got a lot of things that are going on during the day that we're driving. Hey, when we get done driving, we're exhausted. I mean, we're literally mentally exhausted from doing that hard work. Though we're sitting, it is a hard job that we're doing. And when people say, "Oh, you're just a truck driver, you don't do much," they have no idea what they're saying. So look at all of these studies that have been done. Okay, let's look. Risk of coronary heart disease in middle-aged male bus and teen drivers compared to men in other occupation, a prospective study. That's a study that was done just about truck drivers, bus drivers, people who spend long hours. The effects of irregular shift work and physical activity on cardiovascular risk factors in truck drivers. So, we don't get much exercise. We get a lot of bouncing going on, but we don't get much exercise other than getting down and climbing out. And so, it's up to us to make sure that we are doing the proper exercises. Here's the problem. Our hearts are not being exercised whatsoever. We're sedentary. There's not a lot of things going on other than us picking up a cup of coffee or for some drivers, grabbing a cigarette and smoking it and, turning the volume up and down and holding that steering wheel. There's really not a lot of activity that we are doing. So therefore, we are having issues that pertain to our hearts. I don't know how many truck drivers I've talked to who experience high blood pressure because, number one, we're overweight, inactivity, and also having heart flutterings and stuff like that. Different things taking place in our bodies. And needless to say, some of us wind up dying on the job because we have not really taken care of our bodies. Listen to this one. The impact of work-related and physiological factors on the development of ischemic heart disease among urban bus drivers in Denmark. So you see that they've done a lot of studies on drivers. It's not just truck drivers, bus drivers. Coronary artery disease, the role of lipids, hypertension, and smoking. This is all about drivers that they have done the information on. Okay, so again, I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself, and I'm going to end this. But what I decided to do, I'm just going to tell you something that has worked for me. And if many of you have been thinking about it, how many truckers have I wanted to just walk up to, who were overweight and breathing hard while they're walking? How many truckers have I wanted to walk up to and just say, "Hey, man, I know where you were, where you are. I was there. Let me show you what I did." But as you know, many of us truckers, we get offended over stuff. And so therefore, a lot of times I just don't say a thing. But I figured maybe I could do it this way. Maybe this would be less intrusive to be able to talk to you about. So if you will go to my YouTube page, I have a 30-day blog on my YouTube page, just like the logo that you see at the bottom of my page. Let's see. Right here. Just like that logo that you see at the bottom of the page, if you'll go to that on YouTube, Fruit, the number 4, Your Life. If you'll go to that on YouTube, I have a 30-day vlog that I did. From the first day that I started doing what I was doing, all the way up to 30 days, okay? And I show you exactly what I do day by day. So this is what I did. I started studying a little bit just about fruit. So I started eating fruit, and I started eating fruit only. And what I found out when I started eating fruit was a lot of the water that we hold, we can look down at our shins and press on our shins and see that we're holding a lot of water. Well, within that first week of eating fruit only, I started draining a lot of water. For those of you who are on high blood pressure medication, they give you something called HTZ or hydrochlorothiazide to take, and that causes the fluid to evacuate your body. You know, you have to go urinate a lot. Okay, so anyway, that's what fruit was causing my body to do. I lost about 35 pounds my first month of just eating fruit. Okay, then I started gradually eating nuts and stuff like that. So I know many of you saying, man, I'm not eating just no fruit by itself. Well, you know what? For some of us, our life depends on it. Okay, so fruit is really a really good food to eat while you are driving. Number one, it keeps you awake. It gives you energy. All right. For many of you who have diabetes, who are diabetic, if you would eat fruit only, I know a lot of people will tell you, hey, if you're diabetic, you should not eat fruit because of the sugar, right? Okay, well, let me explain to you a little bit about fruit and the sugar. All right. So let me scoot a little closer. If you are diabetic and you like to eat fruit, okay? But let me tell you what to stay away from. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a medical practitioner or anything. I'm just somebody who's telling you what they have done. And this is what I've done. So when you eat fruit only, do not eat meat, okay? And I know that's tough because the truck stops are not built for people who want to eat right. Now, they're starting to get some things in the truck stops, but it's not really made for us, okay? It's not made for those who want to eat right. Okay, so when you eat fruit, eat it whole, okay? Don't buy fruit juice. That stuff is bad, okay? Eat fruit and eat it whole, okay? So when you eat fruit, you do not want to eat fat things with it, especially if you're diabetic, because the fat is going to block the receptors. Let me tell you how it works. You eat fruit goes into your stomach. Okay, the fiber slows down the rate of the sugar going into your bloodstream. Okay, so that's why you don't want to just drink fruit juice. And that stuff that they make in the stores is not really good for you anyway. So don't juice your fruit. Eat the fruit. The fiber is going to slow the sugar from going into your bloodstream. The sugar is going to move from your bloodstream directly into your cells. It doesn't even require insulin from your body, okay? So remember what I said. Fruit goes into your stomach. From your stomach, moves into your bloodstream. From your bloodstream directly into your cells. See, many of us don't even know that our bodies run off of sugar. Our cells, at a cellular level, we run off of sugar. So fruit is fructose. It is a natural sugar, not the white bleached sugar, okay? That's processed sugar. That is not good for you. That's a no-no. So let's try to stay away from that kind of sugar. But the problem is when you eat meat with fruit, the fat from the meat gets into your bloodstream. And there's like this thing that sticks up. It's like called a receptor. So basically the fat is going through the blood and it covers up that receptor. So when you've eaten meat and then you eat fruit, so the fat covers up the receptor and the sugar comes in and the sugar wants to connect with that receptor that causes it to go directly into the cell to give you your energy. When you do fat, the sugar goes right to that receptor and bounces right off because the fat is clogged away, won't let it in. So that's why you should stay away from meat if you're wanting to eat fruit or eat something sweet, because the sugar has no way to get out of your bloodstream if you're eating fat or meat and stuff with that, okay? So eat fruit either by itself with no meat, or if you're going to eat meat, don't eat anything sweet. Okay, that's where your diabetes is coming from. It's because you're making your insulin levels have to overwork themselves, all right? So again, it's just how we are to take care of our bodies. So I found when I started eating fruit, I started urinating a lot, okay? You're gonna have to keep a jug with you in the truck. Many of us do anyway, so you're going to be finding yourself peeing a awful lot, but that's good because it's pulling that fluid off of your body, that fluid that goes and rests down at your shin. That's too much fluid on us and it's settling. So the fruit actually gets it off of your body. Not only that, the other benefits is you'll have lots of energy. You won't even have to drink coffee. Let me tell you what, when I drink coffee now, I'm off the hook. When I come to my stop, I literally have to get out of my truck and walk back and forth because I can't be still, because the caffeine now is really getting into my system because I no longer eat the stuff that I used to eat. Okay, so if you're wanting to learn more about eating fruit only, if you can do that. Now, it's not for everybody. I'm just one of those guys who said I felt like I was going to die, and I didn't want to die while I was driving, and I didn't want to die in my truck overnight because I have a wife, a beautiful wife, and 6 children. And so I had to make a change in my life. So I made a change in my life, and I've lost over 70 pounds. And guess what? It only took me 5 months to do it. It didn't take a year. Didn't take a year and a half. It took me 5 months to do it. But I have plenty of energy. Now, if I go and get my insurance rechecked, my life insurance policy, it'll probably drop now, because when I go, you know how it is when you go take those physicals, those DOT physicals, you go in, you're nervous because you're probably overweight, or maybe you've been smoking, and they're going to probably put you on a breathing machine at night, those kind of things. Listen, when you eat correctly and take care of your body, such as I did, I went to fruit, I don't worry about going to take a physical anymore. Why? Because I know I'm in physically good health. All right, so didn't mean for it to be this long, but we have a problem going on in the trucking industry, guys. We're running into the back of people because we're having heart attacks. We're running off of the road because we're having heart attacks. We're having illnesses where some of us are not even fit to drive, but we do it anyway. Why? Because we have a job to do. We work to pay bills at our home. And I totally get that. I totally get it. But while we're doing it, let's start taking care of ourselves. Let's start doing some exercises. Let's start eating correctly. Let's stop eating late at night. And I know some of you are probably like, man, you can't tell me what to do. I've been driving a truck, and I know how it is, trucker. I got it. But for those of you who are listening, who want to hear, hey, just take note of it. Go to my YouTube channel, Fruit, the number 4 Your Life, and go there. And I've got plenty of information for you to help you get started on a journey to taking the weight off of you and, hey, feeling good while you are driving the truck. So, hey, man, I really hope that this really helped a lot of you all out. I hope that you got something from it. If you need to contact me, you're more than welcome to contact me. You can contact me at support. Okay, that's support@fruitforyourlife.com. I also have a website that you can go to. I talk about food addiction. Listen, a lot of us truckers, we are addicted to food because that's a pastime for us, is eating. That's how some of us got so big. Okay, so go to my website, fruitforyourlife.com. Remember, the 4 is the number 4.com. I even have a downloadable video there that you can download that talks about food addiction as well. So, hey, I hope that you got something out of this. Hey, for you truckers who are offended, hey, I didn't mean to offend you. I'm seeking the ones who are really wanting to do something about, really just about their life. All right. So you all take care. Again, you know how to contact me. If you have any questions, you need to email me, or you need to, just leave me a message or something like that. I'm also on Facebook as well, so you can contact me on Facebook under Edward Logan. Edward Logan, you'll see my Fruit for Your Life stuff up. And hey, look forward to talking to some of you guys. Those of you who are really serious, get in contact with me. I'll be glad to talk with you during the day. All right, you all take care.